All right, guys, a little bit of news about how Jon Stewart's new show is actually performing. So let's see how it's being reported here. Put this up on the screen. So according to the New York Post, Jon Stewart's new show on Apple TV is reportedly a flop. They say the problem with Jon Stewart, which launched on Apple TV in September, appears to be a flop as it trails far behind its competitors on broadcast and cable TV, according to Bloomberg. Show's first episode was seen by just 180,000 U.S. homes in the first week it debuted last fall. Measurement firm Samba TV said that number dropped to 40,000 by its fifth episode, which aired in early March. They also include a comment that I think is actually kind of revealing from Jon Stewart on the show. He said, "Thank you for watching, but my guess is you didn't at the end of the premiere episode of a show. You're probably just going to look at aggregated clips of it somewhere on YouTube where you pirate Ted Lasso." I don't even know what that is. "You don't even know how to get Apple TV, do you?" And I actually think that is probably the biggest issue.
Oh, yeah.
Is like, how many people, like the platform really matters. And so how many people actually have Apple TV, know how to access Apple TV, know how to get to his episodes on Apple TV. Because, you know, when you look at his YouTube page, and I think we have a look at, you know, how his videos perform, they actually do well on YouTube. He regularly gets views, you know, always in the 100,000s, oftentimes 500,000, always, sometimes his stuff gets, you know, over 1 million views or multiple millions of views. 570,000 subs for a channel that's a year old and where YouTube isn't even its main thing.
And he doesn't do daily news.
Exactly. It's not. That's not
pretty
how
good.
Bad. Yeah. And then I also looked at his podcast rankings on Spotify.
Yeah.
We're beating him.
Of course we are.
But only by a little bit.
Beating most people.
But only by a little bit.
Yeah.
He's not far behind us in the rankings. So, I think probably the biggest issue here is the platform itself versus an appetite for this content. Because I also have to say anecdotally, you know, when we had him on, when we talked about having him on, when we've covered some of the things he's done on his show, like people have really responded to that content as well.
I completely agree. I think what they're doing is so bad faith, saying that it's a flop. Look, I mean, first of all, Apple TV itself, let's all be honest, is kind of fake. It's a loss leader for Apple in order to get into the content game. And they use it as a way in order to increase the value of the overall Apple bundle. These people print money. They don't care that much. It's a lot like cable news, actually.
And actually, they said that his show is the #1 unscripted series on Apple TV.
So it's already
he's doing
#1.
the most that he can, given the platform that he exists on.
Okay, so, you know, it's so bad faith in order to attack this. And Stewart is one of the few who actually could succeed in the open ecosystem. Yeah. 100%. Personally, I would tell him, you don't need Apple, man. You can do exactly what we do.
Well, that was kind of what I was thinking, too.
Yeah, I'm like, look, I mean, not that he cares what I think, and he probably got a fat multi-million-dollar check, so, you know, he's laughing all the way to the bank. But if I were giving advice, I would say, you don't need Apple, dude. You can do this all out on YouTube. A ton of people know who you are. People really love your message, and people have been with you for many, many years, and you could do the Supercast model just like we do, and I bet you would be probably making roughly the same amount of money, except now he would have 100% control, and there would be no barriers to the content. So.
Yeah, I wonder what made him decide to do the Apple TV model, because it may just be kind of like an older mindset. I mean, you come out of the cable world, you come out of sort of traditional broadcast and cable media, it can be hard to wrap your head around exactly what this would look like. You expect a certain budget and a certain production level on the show. If he did it independent, you know, it wouldn't necessarily look quite the same, but there's no doubt what he would put out. Honestly, you know, a more sort of informal format. Like if you've listened to the podcast, it has a little bit more of that just kind of like conversational. It's a little less highly produced. I actually think people would really respond to that from him because he's very sharp and he's very good off the cuff. So if his goal was to reach the largest possible audience and have the most impact with what he was doing, yeah, I think it would have been better for him to forget about Apple and just do it on his own, put on his own podcast, have his own YouTube channel, and go in that direction.
Yep, I completely agree.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. More for you later. Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.